Artie Quitter podcast. If I sound a little tense, it's because I'm under Dave Juskow's scrutiny.
Come on.
Oh my God! I mean, I invite. We're doing this big show Tuesday, which I can't wait to do. He's doing The Godfather, a comedic version of The Godfather. And I told you, Dave has done The Odd Couple on stage, which he did verbatim, and it was so fucking good. I was so blown away by it. And a couple of months ago, he did The Godfather, but a comedic version of it. And it's supposedly killed. Like, people I talked to at the Comedy Cellar, at the Village Underground, actually, they're not people who would lie to me. They said it was so fucking funny. And I made a mistake and told Dave I could do it Tuesday. Just calm down. I could do it Tuesday. And this upcoming Tuesday, and I was going to play. I was flattered I could be in it. I was going to play Clemenza, which, is typecasting. And, better yet, you asked for permission to go. And, all set with the. And then I realized that I had committed to a gig in Edmonton, Canada on a Tuesday. It was a private party, but. There were other reasons I couldn't do it. I can't get into it right now. I couldn't do the gig in Edmonton. So a bunch of forces came together. What the fuck is that? What is that?
Is it a radio?
I don't know. We'll just sit here.
My phone's off.
My phone's on airplane mode.
Yeah, mine too.
What happened, Dan? Is that your Chicago Blackhawks update? Holy Christ.
It's like Spinal Tap.
They're out.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Okay. What was that?
The computer.
Your computer. Okay. Should I start over?
An ad for Geico.
I'm trying to do the podcast. And we're coming back in, land the plane, don't we? All right. Chicago Blackhawks update. Here's your...
Dan got mad at me because I just mentioned that the Empire State Building was maybe in blue for the St. Louis Blues, and he got so angry.
Why'd you get it? He does. He gets that.
Yeah, really angry.
That people are.
Shut up, you piece of shit. He was.
It's that gay anger.
Yeah.
It's that.
It's the 50th time you've asked me for Artie's quarter pounder with cheese. That's why I was like, okay.
Look how Dan tries to deflect. That's that secret gay anger. It comes out sometimes. It's unbelievable.
I'm sorry.
Fuck you. Fuck you, Tommy. I'm sorry, Dan. Back off. Cunt. Who are you yelling at? Whose face do you see? The gym teacher who made you swim naked? What did Dave's face look
Denny
like?
Hastert.
Great reference that none of our fans are going to get.
He was only Speaker of the House.
Yeah,
that was convicted yesterday.
Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
That was the gayest thing I've ever heard.
He was convicted on other stuff, though, right? Because the statute of limitations, like.
Well, no, he wasn't convicted on. He wasn't convicted on
was
child
sentenced
molesting.
yesterday.
He was convicted. No, he wasn't convicted on child
Yeah,
molesting.
other stuff, right?
Do you even listen to the story?
Yes.
You don't. Dan likes to sound so smart.
It was embezzling money.
It wasn't embezzling money. That's
Can
not
I
why I got
say
convicted.
it's another feather in the cap for the Republican Party.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Republican, so.
Sorry about that.
I'm
just kidding.
Well, I'm independent. I can't vote. I'm a felon.
That guy was only a few steps away from becoming the
I
president
know.
of the United States.
I mean,
Yeah,
believe me.
that's right.
So you're saying no Democrats molest kids?
Oh, I'm sure there are, but
Probably most of them. Yeah, I'm a Trump guy. But Dan is Dan actually likes to sound so smart with the stories, and then he says something so wrong. Why did he get convicted? Tell me.
He was convicted of illegally funneling money to a couple of his victims. Actually, two.
hush money.
Broke.
Hush
What did he
money.
break?
Hush money.
He
He broke banking laws. Yeah.
That's how they get you. That's how they got Capone, right?
Capone.
Exactly.
Now Capone was taxes.
Tax. Well,
right.
tax things, but it wasn't for having multiple people killed, which he probably did in his.
Well,
time.
yeah, I'm saying they got it for something else, but
Right.
taxes are very different. So Dan, so when you get that mad at Dave, what face do you see in your past? Do you see the guy who made you swim naked? You see Dennis Hastert?
Who do I see?
I'm sorry. Let's move on. Yeah, so I move a lot of shit around. I'm on the phone. I tell Just Guy I'll get here at 9. He gets here at 8:30, first of all. And he's already saying to me, I don't know if I can come. I'm like, well, then don't come. He's like, I got to get the script together.
I don't perform very often, and I get nervous.
And he gets here, and half an hour early, I come out. But the great Anthony Bose is here, of course,
Hello.
And the other voice you hear is Daniel Krieger, who is he's got one of the most interesting jobs ever. The guy, he's a food photographer for major publications like the New York Times, and just a fascinating guy that I'm happy to have here. Hey, Daniel.
Thank you. I'm extremely humbled to be here. I'm a huge fan, man.
Yeah, Anthony was saying that. I said, well, that's nice. An intellectual fan. I like that.
Well, can I stroke your ego a little bit?
Go right ahead.
No, seriously.
like
Since I remember seeing you on Mad TV when I was younger.
Wow.
I'm a little bit younger than you, but
you look young. What are you, 30? You're 30 something.
I wish I just turned 40. Actually,
Oh, okay.
I looked
He
a
does
little
look
younger.
young, though, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I
Yeah.
remember watching you on Mad TV and just. I was kind of I was a little bit of a comedy junkie, I guess. Growing up, I just loved.
You must have been watching Mad TV. That's
Well, I loved watching. Like I would rent Eddie Murphy's movies when I was really young, and I just kind
Right.
of that's what really hooked me. But I remember seeing you on Mad TV, and honestly, I didn't remember that many characters from watching it, but I remembered a few, and you were one that I was like, man, that guy's fucking funny.
Wow.
And then I had always been a Howard Stern fan since I was like young, since I felt like I was really young. I just remember hearing him, and I'm like,
young.
this guy's. And then once you were on that show, I just really enjoyed those years, and I'm just impressed with kind of your career and how much work you've put into it. Because, man, I do an okay job at my occupation, but being a comedian, what you guys do is fucking hard. It's really hard. It's got to be one of the hardest things to excel at, to really like excel and earn a living and be as successful as like you. Anyway,
Okay.
Just want to say that.
First of all, thank you. Second of all, here's why Daniel's my favorite guest of all time. on top of that compliment, he brought food.
Yeah,
I did.
Go through the food that you bought.
Okay,
Wait,
From
one second. Let me get it. We'll
Dying to
finish, we'll
know
finish
what's
with
in that
Dave.
Bag.
Let's finish with Dave.
No, I'd rather not.
But Daniel, thank you, man.
Sure.
This is where I get
Thank
it.
you for having me on, guys.
Anytime.
Thank you, Anthony, for
Of course.
And listen, I wish more people in Hollywood thought that way. I'd be Aziz Ansari by now. So Dave comes about half an hour early, and I come out and I'm negotiating with the people that I had to cancel with. It's going to cost me about $8,000. But Dave, I was wrong. I told Dave something I shouldn't have told him. My schedule was fucked up because here's a bulletin. I'm not that organized.
I was shocked.
I'm disheveled. You can check that sarcasm at the door. So I tell him, I said, I promised Anthony last night that we'd write the book, and it was just a podcast. So, this is how they're paying me money to write the book. It's costing me money to do your show. And I go, well, I'm just going to real quick write with Anthony in the other room a little bit. And Dave goes, in my fucking kitchen. He goes, do I have to leave this room?
Well,
I go, I don't know. Yeah, no, I guess. Man, no. You know what? Anthony and I will go in the cubby hole. We'll go in the fucking breakfast nook where Dan sleeps.
I'm
While
always
you're out here
hanging
watching the Blackhawks and Dan yells at you for the fucking St. Louis Blues. We did it. You know what's funny, Ant? Did you hear? I did hear a scream in the middle of our.
Yes.
Did you really?
I did.
I'm going. So here's what I think. Fuck you.
I didn't know.
Fuck you in the St. Louis Blues.
I was hoping Daniel didn't show up early and scare people.
Fuck you in the St. Louis Blues and all those people who kept pushing vagina on me. Maybe I don't like it. Did you read up on your science books? You can be born like this.
I was turning the TV louder and louder because Dave kept on asking, "Do you look at the script yet? Did you look at the script?"
I'm not
He
looking.
sees the FedEx envelope right in front.
I
It's
didn't
sealed.
see it. I didn't.
You know what? I'm going to let you watch me open the FedEx envelope.
don't
Dave.
care. I was
And you know what's going to be the night of the show.
I was only asking if you read it, Dan. I
I
wasn't
can do
asking
Clemenza's
about
part in a fucking in my sleep.
I know that.
I'm busting your balls.
I know.
And I'm telling you, Dave is one of the funniest people I know, and he's welcome on the show anytime. I hope he's a regular. But I mean, my God, do I have to leave this room? It was a throwback to every girlfriend I've ever had.
It was very uncomfortable. I wanted to leave when he said that.
It's just
Dan, do me a favor, shut your mic off.
I spend a lot of time here.
He's talking to you, the food photographer.
No, that's Daniel.
Daniel, right?
So Dave, do you want to take this time to apologize or no?
I'm not. No, I'm not going to
I
apologize.
know you're not. I don't
I'm
want
very
you.
uptight.
I don't
today.
want you. I know because you don't perform a lot.
No, exactly. So I'm just trying to keep. I didn't go to the draft party today at the Meadowlands because.
Oh wow, everybody's talking about that on Facebook. That was at the lead story on Entertainment Tonight.
Well, we were supposed to be tailgating today. We're supposed to get wasted.
Just Gal, not a draft party. Coming up, Big Bang Theory. Picked up for another year.
Listen, you son of a bitch.
Eddie Murphy might do stand-up again. Just go out at the draft party.
You know I love tailgating. That's the only reason I like
You're
going.
going to tailgate with who? You're 48.
I can't help it. I love
You're in
it.
your late 50s.
I love hanging out in the parking lot drinking.
With who? With who?
My other friends are the same age.
They're not the same.
They are.
You have friends your age who drink for the draft?
Yeah.
What the fuck is their problem? Are they Vanderbilts?
No.
I have a friend who he goes back to his alma mater in Colorado every year, and he like tailgates with these kids.
Yeah.
But we're getting a little too old for that.
No,
now.
it's all guys my age or our age. I mean, it's like it's all
Who are
guys
they?
like that. That's the Maracas brothers.
The Maracas. Jesus Christ. I want those Maracas brothers dead.
No,
You're sitting up here in Hoboken drinking. What are they drinking, Dan? You're drinking Starbucks.
champagne cocktail.
Caramel macchiatos.
Eating quarter pounders.
Eating quarter pounds with cheese. We're doing Godfather.
They have a bar that they put. The brother has this bar.
Where?
I just
The
showed.
draft's in Chicago. Where were you going?
No. At the Meadowlands, the Giants. If you have season tickets, you can go inside the stadium. and
Season
watch
tickets
the
to what?
Giants games.
You're with all the guys in your section. You're going to watch.
Well, you know, I like the Jets, but I like the Giants because it's a better tailgate.
Oh, you're a Jet fan too. Oh my God.
But the Giants throw a better tailgate.
What a terrible.
It's
breed.
more upscale.
So you're Jet. You're a
I stopped
Jet
going
fan.
to the Jets game.
Who did the Jets take this year? They always make the shittiest picks.
Yeah, always. That's why I
The
was
Jets
waiting
take
for
in the second round Sarah Jessica Parker. And cut the Jet fans in the upper deck. What the fuck? Sarah Jessica Parker?
What Dan and I were just talking about.
She's
that
the worst tight end. What the fuck?
Where they passed over Dan Marino that year. Well, Richard Todd will be good.
Richard Todd. What's Richard Todd doing tonight?
He's working at the deli.
He's going to be with you at the fucking draft party.
He's tailgating.
And then the Jets, with their first pick, take Mary Kate Olsen. What the fuck?
You're not far off.
She sucks.
That's the only reason I hate that the draft's not in New York anymore. You know,
My
in Chicago,
favorite-
nobody cares as much
There's
for the
nothing-
Jets picks.
My favorite Jet story ever. I think I told you this. For a little while when the ESPN Zone opened up in Times Square, and they would have live Monday Night Football games with fans, with actual fans of the two teams. They would fly them in Times Square. So the first time they did it was Dolphins Jets Monday Night Football. Fucking 50 ossified Jet fans, 50 ossified Dolphin fans. Okay, I think Richard Todd was a fan at that point. Okay, got kids with Emerson Boozer shirts on. That that type of fucking Maynard, Don Maynard jersey.
Right.
That far back.
I had an Altoon jersey.
Oh yeah, I love
I love Altoon. They give us Altoon. Who was that announcer who talked like that to give us Altoon? He always talked about his alma mater. I'm going back. He was a kicker. The Jet announcer on the fucking radio.
It's not Sean.
No, not Sean. That
Because
guy-
the Giants guy is the punt. The punter is an
not
announcer
like that,
for some
no.
Do you
reason.
remember their coach? I think his name was Bill Walton. And
Marty Lyons?
Marty.
Not-
No,
no,
He was
is that
not
the guy
Marty
you're
Lyons.
talking
I'm
about?
talking about
No, I
the
remember the
announcer.
coach.
The guy he would eat. That's how he spoke. He was always at the games with Jim Gordon. He would go, Altoon, my alma mater gave me an award today. And I'd like to talk a little bit about it. Nobody knows this guy. All right. Anyway, so a bunch of Jet fans, right before they went on live, Chris Berman says to everybody, and I was there. I was on the Norm Show at the time, which was on ABC. So I got a ticket. I was back home for Christmas break. So I went to the ESPN Zone, and I got like those VIP tickets that the Norm Show got you. And I'm sitting there, and right before they went on live, Chris Berman says to all the Jet and Dolphin fans, "I'll take any questions you have before we go on the air, guys." You're Riley, So he was wearing a pink tie. Chris Berman. Okay. Chris Berman goes, "Okay, anybody got a question before we go live on the air?" Trying to get pumped up, a fucking ossified Irish guy from Queens with a red face and freckles and an Emerson Boozer jersey on his 58th Coors Light raises his hand. And Berman goes, "There we go, Jet fan. Ooh, Jet fan. What do you want? What's your question?" And he goes, "Where'd you get that faggot tie?" I never laughed so hard. I had to get up. I looked around me and said, "I'm going to pull a muscle laughing." People are laughing. So Chris Berman's face goes numb. They're on the air in 10 seconds. And he goes, okay, guys, okay, it's a pink dye, but we're bigger than that. We're bigger. Like, really? We are?
Yeah, what is he, an idiot?
I'm on television. I'm on a fucking sitcom. I almost said it. And he goes, all right, let's just calm down. Let's calm down. And calms down. This is the coolest thing I ever saw a Dolphin fan do. He goes, all right, okay, the Dolphins, let's give you a chance. But we're about 5 seconds from the air. A kid who was on his 58th Coors Light from Miami, I guess, with a tan, or maybe not, because there's Dolphin fans all over the fucking place. He had on a Marino jersey, because they all did. Raised his hand. He goes, what do you want? The Dolphin kid goes, where'd you get that fat? Okay, the fucking first AD goes, and we're out, and okay, quick, enjoy the show, all right. Now you hear a discussion with the AD, should we kick them out? Do we kick them out, but they'll make noise? And the kid is right over Berman's shoulder the entire time. Oh, why does he wear a pink tie? I was with my buddy Anthony Mastromar, the kid who produced Beer League, and oh my God. That's the funniest fucking thing.
That's awesome.
Well, so that's your. Maybe that kid will be at this party you're going. Who do the Jets take?
I don't
They're
know.
20th. So they
Neil
haven't
Patrick
picked yet.
Harris?
You son of a bitch.
2 more picks away.
And
Two
the
picks
Jets
away.
take Tony Orlando. They're the worst picks ever.
They really are. They have a montage on YouTube. You can see the
They
montage
do?
of the worst picks ever.
I
yeah,
bet that's good.
And the Jets take Will McCormick and Sean Hayes. And with their last pick, Timothy Van Patten. What? It's like a fucking TV movie. The Jet picks: Leslie Ann Warren, Patty Raston, Meredith Baxter Birney. Who did the Giants take? By the by, I'm going to care about this.
The Giants.
Oh, Apple. Eli Apple.
Eli Apple.
I remember
Eli
him.
Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that Gwyneth Paltrow's kid? Eli Manning Apple? By the way, we figured out that when Tim Cook comes, it's called apple juice amongst millennials.
Wow.
When Tim Cook comes in a guy's mouth, it's called apple juice. I'm going from apple juice. All right, let's just calm down. Dave, you're here for 10 minutes. It's offensive, right?
Sorry.
All right, so you could stay in the. You're fine now. Everything cool? What we're doing, Dave?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Permission to go on?
This Tuesday. The Godfather
when's the
at the
big
Comedy Cellar.
Oh, he did say, wait, he did say this. He goes, when I come with Dave Attell, I get on right away.
No. I didn't say that. I said that when I come with Dave Tell, Artie he answers the door when I come in.
Well, that's because Dave talks to people.
No, he doesn't.
I'm sorry.
He's worse than I am.
He is like Dave is like a broad.
Yeah.
When you drive with Attell, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna hit something." I'm like, "There's nothing around us."
It is like having a girlfriend.
It really is. It's like, well, Dave, how did you get so uptight?
It's always been that way.
And then he goes, "Come on, let's have." After a set at the cellar, he goes, "Let's have a cigarette." And then somebody says, "Dave, I love you." He goes, "Let's get out of here."
Yeah.
I never saw someone take a compliment worse.
When he was in his drinking days, we used to hang out all the time, and I could never figure out. I always thought it was always looking for girls.
You're like to him the Grateful Dead's music. They sobered up and realized they didn't like it. You're like hell in a bucket. Go ahead.
No, it's just like it's. I can't
Feel like the 80-minute live version of Ripple. Wait a minute, this was good when I was on Angel Dust. Jessica's stories were interesting.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Okay.
No, it's not that. I can't
Give us
figure
your
out.
Attell anecdote.
It doesn't. Forget it.
What is it?
No, let's hear it.
You
What
hung out
happened?
all the time?
When he was drinking, you thought it was about getting
No,
girls.
we've been friends for 30 years, but I've been friends with him before he was drinking. Then when he was drinking,
You met him when you were 35?
I'm. Damn,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
getting shit on.
Well, you're teeing him up. I'm just swinging.
Shouldn't have eaten the
I
cheeseburger.
met him in '87.
Yeah, I know. My fucking quarter pounder with cheese is gone.
Sorry.
I purposely got
That's
five.
what
I got
this is-
5 today. The
That's
fucking
what this is all about.
Puerto Rican kid looked at me like he wanted to check my blood sugar. Well, you want the meals? No. I just want the number 1 meal. But I want 5 separate quarter pounders. With,
So good.
and he's like, oh, they are. There's something in those things, man. But then you smell like, the Yves Saint Laurent cologne I got to throw on me to get rid of that McDonald's smell.
It's worth it.
So you want to tell the Attell story or not?
No.
The setup is
I'd
too
like
long.
to hear it.
No, it just, now I feel now it's never gonna. I mean, there's so many I could tell, but
Well,
I was
pick
just-
one,
I was
Jesus
just gonna
Christ.
Say the
How
one
about the one
when
you
he was
started?
drinking, we would have to go from bar to bar to bar,
Right.
And it was always like, well, when does it end? What is he looking for? And I always assumed it was girls. You know, he was trying to get laid, but then a lot of times he was with girls. And then it would be 5 a.m, and he's like, "Let's go to another bar." I'm like, "Well, for what purpose?
Right.
What is the end game here?"
Exactly. Is that the story?
That's the story.
Now that deserves a "Someone Died" music on.
Well, there's a-
well,
Well, I mean, there's so many others. I mean, well, look at
I'm not going to
Does
tell
anyone-
my Dave Attell story. though.
one time.
yours is probably better.
I don't have one, but I can make one up if you want me to.
I guarantee the one you make up is better.
No,
No,
wait.
stop.
One time at Thanksgiving, we were partying with these
We're out
hot
of- we're out of-
20-year-old
we're out of time.
girls.
The story's already bullshit.
No, it's not. It's all those waitresses at Catch Rising Star, and they were cooking for
The
us.
one
and
on the
getting us
Upper East
beer.
Side?
No, the one on 28th Street where you and I met. Where you and I
remember.
met.
The only ones I know look like Richard Belzer.
Right. That no.
Maybe that was Richard Belzer.
Can I ask you guys a question about comedy clubs?
Well, I want to hear this one.
Yeah,
One
let's hear
quick.
this
Go ahead,
one.
Dave. Go ahead.
So it's Thanksgiving. All the hottest girls like from Florida you've ever seen, and they're all
I
catering
remember-
to
I
us.
remember
and it's
those
just
hot
me
chicks.
and Attell, right?
Yeah, they were hot.
And we're with these girls, and they're making out with us. Like they want to hang out, they want to make out. They maybe want
Making
to have
out with
sex.
who?
Us, me and Attell. Like they said, like we go into the bathroom and fool around with them. And then he's like, "Listen, I'm going to get out of here. See if there's any action at the cellar." I'm like, "Any action at the cellar? What? This? It's not going to get better than this tonight. It's Thanksgiving.
Well, maybe.
What's that guy looking for?"
First of all, that mic works, Sam Kinison.
Sorry.
Any
I
action?
still get angry about it. I still can't figure it
You
out.
sound like Dan yelling at the
What's
Empire
he
State
looking for?
Well, he's looking for he's looking for you to leave.
No.
Maybe you knew Greg Kilborn was coming and he'd fuck all of them.
Nothing was gonna-
Greg
nothing-
Kilborn would hang at that bar sometimes. When
Which
he was doing,
one?
When he was doing the Daily Show.
Oh, at the
Catch a Rising
Catch?
Star,
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know him then.
And he had this creepy assistant who would always compliment Kilborn. I guess he was on the contract to compliment him. And he would go, "Yeah, Greg, not only is he funny, Artie, he gets the best puss on the fucking planet."
That bar was the best, though, right? Because we drink for free all the
It
time.
was great.
It's
And Rick
amazing.
Newman had the good toupee back then.
Rick Newman is the greatest.
Rick Newman knew how to handle. Rick Newman was fucking a throwback to an old school, like a Toots Shore
Exactly.
kind of New York club owner. When my mom came, if I had a set and my mother came, he'd buy a dinner.
Yep. Me too. Same for my mom,
You
too.
think you got dinner at a fucking Carrie Hoffman up at Stand Up New York?
Nope. That's of course that's why the place went under, because he was giving everything up for free. He didn't give a shit.
Carrie Hoffman's father died, and the people. Someone said that guy Tim Davis said, "You guys going to the funeral?" and Jeff Ross had the greatest line. He goes, "Yeah, I hear we got to bring 3 people." And right off the top of his head, that was quick. I said, "Ross, that's fucking." Anyway, what is that? Well, go ahead. What's the comedy club
Dave,
question?
the Jets are on the clock.
Oh yeah.
The Jets are on the clock,
right,
which
let's
means the cast of The Big Bang Theory might have to suit up.
I was just asking, you're doing Comedy
Godfather.
Cellar?
Yeah.
So, like, I always hear among comedians and kind of like you'll read, it seems like the Cellar is kind of the spot.
Yeah.
I guess my question's basically, in New York City, beyond the Cellar, what are a few other clubs that maybe either you guys like to hang out at or you'll see good talent coming up at?
There's no hangout clubs anymore.
No, the Cellar's got
So
a
the Cellar's the
monopoly.
only
Actually, we were
place.
just talking about it. It's become a monopoly. It used to be so amazing in the 90s, like Catch for a little while.
Yep.
But that Catch on 28th Street was only around for like a year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, like a year or two.
But there was stand-up. The old stand-up New York was a great fucking club. It really was great. And that was on the Upper West Side. That always had broads, and it was
It was a
amazing.
decent hangout, but because they always told you to shut up at the bar. That's what made Catch so good. You didn't have to be quiet at the bar.
Yeah,
They had a
well,
separate
I
room.
I feel like telling you to shut up right now. I mean, maybe because you're yelling all the time.
Sorry, I get excited.
Guys on stage doing his act. Like, so anyway, where are you guys from? I got to go back to. So Attell says, I say, where do you want to go, Attell? Where do you want to? Any of you guys see this? Apple is raising in stocks now. It's 1997.
My Facebook and Tesla are doing very well right now.
Yeah, right. Facebook. And yeah. So Dave, where do you? Just got screaming out lies.
Sorry.
Hot chicks were making out with us.
They were. It was a miracle. That's why I don't know.
I
why
got a
he's
huge black dick.
Well, did he leave?
Yeah.
No,
Did
Dave is
you
like
need
that.
a
No,
car?
he's very self-conscious. He's very basically, that's why that bet he made with Maneve about he'd be married within a year. I'm like, Dave, you can't sit still for anything. I mean, if he was nominated for an Oscar, he'd get out of the limo and halfway through the red carpet, he'd go, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, they asked him to be.
And know why he's a true comic? He's a true because again, I have that in me too. Of like, you don't want to be the person. You want to be making fun of the creep at the bar talking to these chicks. You want to be, you want to fuck the chicks eventually. That's the problem. But you want to goof on people who are trying to fuck the chicks. You want to goof on Greg Kilborn. You want to goof on people who are answering Ryan Seacrest when he asks who they're wearing. You want to be the outsider. A comic's an outsider looking in, and that's what Dave is.
Yeah.
And he's only comfortable doing that. I mean, do I have to fucking draw this out for you? Anyway, the answer is that's a good question. The stand on 3rd Avenue between 19th and 20th is pretty good, right? I mean,
that's a relatively new one, right?
Yeah, it is. It only seats 86 people in the basement, and but it's really cool. I like the hang
I went there once, and we met Jackie Mason. I was kind of like a little bit in awe.
I got to tell you,
I got
this place sits 86 people. I can't make no money here.
We happen to be friends with Sheba Mason.
Yeah, Sheba Mason's my daughter. You can see Sheba Mason here. You can't see Jackie Mason. Sheba Mason's a different story. Her mother's driving me crazy. I said to her mother, have the kid. I don't want the kid.
That will have nothing to do with it.
I don't want anything to do with the kid. Call Ed Sullivan. Ed Sullivan said I gave him the finger. What are you crazy? If I give you the finger, you'll know it. I didn't give you the finger. Tell Sheba to stop calling me. Sheba Mason, Jackie Mason, Anthony Mason of the Knicks. Anthony Mason said he was my kid. I said that's crazy. Yeah, what did I fuck Leslie Jones? Leslie Jones, we're so politically correct, we can't say what Leslie Jones looks like without getting in trouble. And in the old days, she'd be Aunt Esther. Why? I mean, before everybody was fucking uptight, the jokes Red Fox used to say on primetime NBC about Aunt Esther. Yeah. I mean, could you imagine trying? Esther, listen, Esther, why don't you go inside the kitchen and put your face in dough and make gorilla cookies? That was a fucking joke on primetime NBC. That was where the Friends used to be. Where David Schwimmer used to get laughs going, and I want to be with you. Why? That's sarcasm that every fruit grew up on. You got to talk to now with the Comedy Cellar. And Matthew Perry's like, this is the episode of Three's Company where there's a plausible thing happens. The word plausible is in every joke. That used to be, when we grew up, make gorilla cookies. There's a great story about Red Fox where he wanted some black activist who was friends with the dummy meathead Damon Wilson said you should have more brothers writing. You got all Jewish people, white people writing for the show, and he goes, "You're right." So one day he fired all the Jewish writers and he hired all black writers. First table read, the show completely bombed. Red Fox got up, supposedly he said, "All right, bring me back my Jews."
We're a funny people.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Dan. How did you get this gig? I mean, because it's a very specific thing. You take pictures of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and quite frankly, it looks like you do more than that with the food up here.
It's a complicated, difficult job when it comes to that. Yeah.
Me and you both could use a few setups. We're not going to lie.
No, it's your turn.
No, but I mean, you seem like you enjoy, and it says you got a cool girlfriend, Anthony says, who writes about food.
She's a food writer, and I'm a food
How did you find each
photographer.
other? That's amazing. That's a Nora Ephron movie.
We've actually, we've been together for 10 years now, and now we're engaged. So
Starving in Seattle.
Yeah.
So 10 years. And so how do you find each other? Did you find each other in college?
No, we actually, the story is, it's kind of a ridiculous story. It's much
Is it as
better
good as
when,
Dave's? Yeah.
when Jordana retells it. But we met on the street of
Let Dave retell it.
Yeah, I'll give him the bullet points and he can retell it.
And then you said you want to take pictures of food?
Well,
Yeah, when you like taking, I like writing about food.
wait,
And that's the story.
my first line, one of my first lines, not the very first one, but one of the first things I actually said to her, because I was nervous because she was quite striking, was,
Right.
I have bacon in my bag. And I literally
Who hasn't used that one?
I literally, it was not the highest point in my life. I was walking home from a local bodega where they will cook several strips of bacon for you.
You're
if
kidding
if
me.
you don't want to
Where
buy
is
the
this?
whole. It's in Carroll Gardens, Brooklyn, where I live. I've lived there for now over 12 years.
You're a Jew with bacon in your bag.
So yeah, I'm not really religious.
But clearly.
I was born I was born Jewish. I appreciate the tradition and the cultural components of it, but I'm not a religious person myself. I'm almost quite the opposite.
Are you an atheist?
No, not really. But I'm more, I guess you would call me agnostic. But to tell you the truth, I just don't really.
Did you have a Seder Friday?
Well, with my
So you admit it.
With my fiance's family, I did, but I've never been bar mitzvahed. I actually got kicked out of Hebrew school because
Your parents weren't either. Then your parents weren't religious.
I don't believe my mother had her bat mitzvah, but my father was bar mitzvahed. So we grew up a little bit of Judaism, but really not that much.
Where are you from?
Connecticut. I was born and raised in Connecticut. I went to University of Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
But
were you there for a championship year? It's hard to get straight around. You probably were, right?
The year I graduated college was the first year that the men won their first championship.
Well, no, it's the basketball.
I believe
women. I don't count. I
know it's funny.
They won a basketball tournament.
He's like, when the men won.
I mean,
like,
I know you know.
Nobody cares.
I mean, how phenomenal is that? Seriously, that how dominant the women have been in basketball.
Daniel,
we don't acknowledge
the
that.
five of us could beat them.
That's absolutely not true. We would get trounced.
We don't know.
Well, go back to the Howard Stern show, my friend.
I've seen Artie do it. Yeah,
The
to
fuck?
that woman.
I beat a chick.
all 3-pointer. He pulled a
you?
Steph Curry before Steph Curry figured it
I beat
out.
a chick at Penn State 2003.
Steph Curry is
It was amazing.
the thing that he releases the ball closer to his body so he has better control. Is that correct?
I don't know.
feel like
I just know he keeps shooting
It's that he's a
3-pointers,
guy.
and that's what Artie was doing, and he was creaming this woman.
2000, the chick who was the captain of the Penn State team and went to the Final Four. I said on the air,
She was in shock.
I could beat any woman. And Howard set it up in Vegas, and I was draining threes like you never saw
It was so
before.
badass. It was amazing.
That's amazing.
The night before, I had 42 shots.
Yeah, he did. Yes. I think he was in a wheelchair.
A bunch of pills that I bought off
that's kind of superhuman.
Well, I bought pills off an Egyptian guy that all it said on it was
Superhuman.
It said nasty.
Nice.
The pill said nasty on them. Dan, what is that?
The Jets made their pick.
What are you doing, Dan? Put that away.
Another Ohio State guy.
Dan, nobody cares. What are you doing?
He's like my height.
He's so creepy.
I wanted to know.
Why did you disrupt him? You disrupted me. With the
How did I
computer.
disrupt you?
Because I see you with the computer with that look on your face. And I'm thinking, did he find something about basketball, UConn? No.
Yeah. So
Are you trying to make the show bad?
Are you? Do you watch college basketball?
Are you kidding me? How do you think I bought this apartment?
So yeah,
I used to bet on college hoops all the time.
yeah. But yeah, it was the sports was pretty big at UConn when I graduated, but I wasn't really super into it. I wouldn't call myself an intellectual, but I was more into like film and things like that rather than watching sports.
Right. Well, honestly, get over the dream of the chicks because it's all bullshit.
If there's one thing you take away tonight.
But so how did you meet? You were going to do a story about your wife.
So yeah, we met on the street of Brooklyn.
Bacon in the bag.
Among my first lines to her, unbelievably, it resulted in the future, which is now. I said I have bacon.
future
in my,
is now. Dave wrote that.
I said I have bacon in my bag, and she tells the story a little bit better than me. But we just started dating.
What was her reaction to that? What did she say?
It was probably appropriate. Something like what? And I was like,
I have eggs. I have eggs in my purse.
Well,
Let's make an omelet,
so
baby.
the story is that
I have egg whites in my purse.
I kind of knew about her from a
You wanna sleep
mutual
over?
friend. I knew about her from a mutual friend, but I hadn't seen her in person yet. So this was my first interaction with her in person. And I was nervous because seriously, she was like beautiful, and I was like, duh, 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 and I was like we were talking, and she's like, "What's in the bag?" And I was like, "I have bacon in my bag," and she was like, "Ugh."
And you were going to get it cooked, or it had been cooked?
No,
already?
that's the thing. They cook it for you, and you bring it home. And I just made
So it
my
had been
own
cooked,
egg
I mean.
sandwich.
So you had,
it was already cooked. So it was like the grease was kind of coming through the paper bag.
This is in Carroll Gardens,
and
Brooklyn.
I was sweating. It was the summer. It was really not the most like romantic thing.
That
but
is disgusting.
I recovered since then. I've had a few pretty smooth
I want to know what's in that
lines
bag.
since then.
What did you bring? You brought food.
So I brought you guys a little treat.
There better
It's
be
from
bacon
Brooklyn.
in this bag.
So this is interesting. The food that I brought you is from a place called Mile End. And that Mile End's actually a neighborhood in Montreal.
The poet? I'm thinking of Maya Angelou.
So
A
buddy of
There's bacon in his bag, and the bacon is African American bacon. How many slaves died for this bacon in your bag? This is Maya Angelou, and this is my restaurant, and I'm not putting in a third bathroom for them motherfuckers.
Artie, what do you think about restaurants and stores and shops and like commercial establishments putting in more toilets for women than men? How do you feel about that?
Is that what they do?
They don't do that. And then if you go and you ever
Wow.
hang out at some event place, you see a line of 100 women waiting for a toilet.
Well, that's because
and
these
men-
broads don't get out of there within 30 minutes. They get in there, and if God forbid one's from a cokehead, you got to fucking wait for Uma Thurman to do a line. They gotta remake their face up, and they bullshit about about whether or not the guy they're with his shoes matches his belt and everything. Guys get in there and they fucking take a leak.
That was the same thing that Krugman said in his editorial today on that subject.
Krugman.
Paul Krugman said that.
No, of course not.
I get you.
But yeah, what
What did Paul Krugman say about him, Mr. Genius?
No, he didn't say
He's an
anything about it. I'm totally
odd-looking
kidding.
guy, that
I'm
Krugman.
kidding. I don't know.
That
I-
damn
That guy Krugman's a weird-looking guy.
I'm figuring you don't like Dave Krugman if you're a Donald Trump fan and you're
Paul
Krugman.
Paul Krugman. I'm sorry. Dave Krugman's actually a photographer who's a buddy of mine.
I'm
but
thinking
it's
of
nothing to do with Paul
Japanese
Krugman.
people like Jack Krugman. They write about Jack Krugman quite a bit. I read Paul Krugman. Paul Krugman editorial. I like Paul Krugman.
Jack Krugman.
Jack Krugman good at alcohol. Turn around to Jack Krugman. I told you I started a thing like Grindr. I have a Klugger. It's an app that tells you if someone could talk about the actor Jack Klugman within 20 feet of you. If you want to talk about Jack Klugman, you put in Klugger. And if there's someone who wants to talk about Jack Klugman within 20 feet, they'll come over you. Also, there's a gay version. Gay Jack Klugman is Clogger. And black Jack Klugman fans are Kligger. I on Kligger. Yo, I'm a black. I love the alcohol. I'm on Kligger. I made a Kligger, actually. It's less offensive. So Paul Krugman.
I think you were talking about bacon in the bag.
Yeah, the bacon in the bag.
What's in that bag?
So this bag.
So what's your problem with Trump?
This is Montreal. This is Montreal style
You're
smoked
voting
meat.
for you voting for Hillary?
Probably, yeah. If it's between Hillary and Donald.
So
at
you
this
think
point.
she's honest?
I don't know if I would. I think she's been given a pretty bad rap. I think that her. I think that she is. I think her best interests are at heart, and I think that she has dedicated her life to working in politics. And I think Trump is more interested in it. He was interested in it as a just kind of something to do or
Who
to
do you
try.
Who do you think's done the worst? If you said here's the worst thing Donald Trump has ever done in life to somebody, and the worst thing Hillary's ever done, who do you think's done the worst thing to people?
That's a tough question.
It's pretty easy, actually.
Well, but wait, here's my question: Would anyone who's voting for Trump pay $36,000 or whatever for a Trump University diploma?
Oh, okay, well, I mean that's a long time ago. First of all, and second of all, he didn't know what was going on. He just put his name on it like everything else.
Well, I mean,
second
you have
of
to
all,
have some responsibility when you're putting your name on.
well, what if
things.
your husband rapes somebody and you're pro woman, and instead of helping the woman,
Right.
you absolutely diminish everything about them.
You know, I mean, I'll be totally honest.
That's horrible.
I don't know enough about that. I have heard those allegations, but honestly, I don't know enough about that. But there's obviously no when that happens.
She's a way worse human being than Trump.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you really studied it?
I know a lot about the
Yeah.
Clinton situation.
I mean, honestly, listen, I'm a food photographer. I'm not a political analyst. I watch a little bit of news, and I watch CNN a lot. And Anderson Cooper always
They're
looks
all
like
scumbags.
he looks like he's mad at me whenever he's talking to the screen.
Well,
Cooper.
speaking of Anderson Cooper, that guy is going to get the mother load. He is the sole heir of Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Wow.
I never knew that.
But she won't die.
Well, I mean, believe me, he's probably got a lot of scratch right now.
She had a relationship, I believe, with Marlon Brando,
But everybody, Sinatra.
and Howard Hughes.
Wow.
She was 20 when she married her 63-year-old husband.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was 20. He was 63, and her other son, the oldest kid, Anderson's older brother, committed suicide, and he is going to get the soul. I mean, you talk about Vanderbilt is old WASP New York money.
There's a lot of money there.
Blue blood money.
Anderson Cooper's doing okay for himself.
Well, sure, but he's going to get the mother load on top of it.
Now,
I mean, you're talking about $1 trillion.
So,
you're talking about old real estate in Manhattan.
Artie, you think you think that Donald Trump has done a great job in business and everything up to this point? I don't know. I honestly,
Yes.
I've met the guy one time. I took some photos of him. I never really followed him very well. I watched his television show here and there. Yeah, you think he really has? I mean, listen, he's been very successful. I'll give him that.
He turned $1 million into $1 billion.
I don't know. I honestly don't really know enough about him, but just listening to some of the things that he says are not really aligned with my beliefs. My belief system's pretty liberal, I would say. I mean, I'm a New York City Jew, and my whole family's from New York City. We're all Jews. We're pretty liberal.
Well, I'm saying
left-leaning
I'm
people.
independent. I think it's you can't be black and white with anything. You got to take stuff, as a. I just don't understand why people think Hillary Clinton is some saint.
Well, I think part of it. Listen, I think America is the most important country, especially living here for me, right? But I think that it is important to take in the rest of the world's views and opinions sometimes.
Sure.
And if you were to ask the majority of the leaders of other countries. Donald Trump is making it a point to be to start fights with people and to basically be abrasive. He's like, I'm going to be abrasive.
He's showing human emotion.
But in this day and age, with all the conflicts that are happening and how terrible things can happen in the snap of your fingers, I feel like things will just be a little calmer and a little easier if Hillary Clinton was to lead the country.
Because a bunch of fat cats will stay rich, and the middle class will keep getting, fucking stepped on.
Sure,
I mean, the world.
sure.
There's a lot of. I travel the country doing stand up. There's a lot of hopelessness out there.
Oh, absolutely, man.
And it's got nothing to do with Trump.
I travel. I've been telling a lot of people this. I do a lot of photography road trips with other photographers. And I've traveled extensively through the South and just looking at the South and being like, wow, the poverty here is just unbelievable.
Forget about the South. I'm talking about Pittsburgh and Philly.
Yeah, sure. They're all
Syracuse.
Upstate New York. Upstate New York, there's areas that are really depressed.
Nothing to do with Trump.
No, I totally understand
That's what he's going to get voted in on because of the hopelessness. Because people are like, well, we'll try anything else. That's why Bernie Sanders is so happy.
Sure, yeah. It's been great for him. How do you feel about him then?
I like the fact that he's blowing up the system. I like that. The best thing about Trump, no matter what you think, is he's shining a light on the bullshit.
I love it.
That Colorado delegate situation is such a joke, and people knew it, but they ignored it because it never meant anything. Now you got these retards in cowboy hats saying who Colorado wants to be president. The fact that Sanders and Trump could not be more opposite on the political spectrum, but the fact that they're both showing that is to me is fantastic.
Yeah, the best election ever.
Yeah. It's the most
and they're getting
entertaining.
people.
It's so entertaining.
All these fucking politicians bullshit you. Like Hillary Clinton doesn't want people to come out to vote. Bernie Sanders does because that's how he wins. Every place where a lot of people voted, young people voted, he won. Hillary Clinton has to say that because it's politically correct. She doesn't want people to vote. And same thing on the other side. Trump gets people out there to vote, real people.
Yeah.
And the condescension of the press when they go, well, he's doing good with non-educated white males. Like, fuck you.
Well, wait a minute.
Fuck you, Anderson.
Donald Trump himself, and I remember this, and I was actually, it really kind of made me open my eyes. In one of his speeches where he was basically, congratulating himself for winning whatever state he had just won, there was some report and it said like whatever percentage of like low education people have just voted for you. And Donald Trump said on
said,
camera,
"I love the poor educated.
I love
the poorly educated."
Yeah.
So
But-
what's wrong with that?
I'll tell you, I'm glad you asked, and I'll tell you what's wrong with it. And if Donald Trump asked me what's wrong with it, this is what I would say.
That ain't gonna happen.
By you, no, I know, but
You're lucky I'm answering.
I know. It's just, I'm totally honored. By anyone, I don't care who you are, by you saying that you love the uneducated, that is a slap in the face to anyone who has dedicated themselves to being a teacher, to giving their life to a profession that they're not going to make a lot of money at, and they're not going to have a hell of a lot of respect. But your sole purpose as a teacher,
or maybe it's a compliment to someone who can't afford an education.
I think the point is that anyone who's running for president should not love the uneducated.
That's a big jump you're making there. That's a big jump.
I don't
you're
know
making.
if it is a big jump.
That's
though.
insulting teachers. Maybe it's just saying, look, some people don't have the resources,
Sure,
or the money to be educated, and he loves them.
I absolutely agree with that. But I think that that's a different message than just saying I love the uneducated.
Well, Dan's insanely liberal. Do you agree with that, Dan? Dan's an Elizabeth Warren guy. He's insane.
I think that the system needs to be blown up, and I think a flashlight needs to be put on.
But what about
it.
what he just said? The jump of Trump saying that means he doesn't like teachers.
I don't see that.
Listen, it's a bit of a jump. I understand that. But,
That's a leap, man.
Okay, it's a leap. But don't you think there's a few teachers out there that hear that and say, I feel like he's in... You don't think there's any teachers out there that
No,
feel a little
I
bit
don't think
offended
so.
by
Well,
that?
Yeah, I've got teachers in my family, and we've talked about Trump. I don't think most of my
I understand. I don't mean to gang up. I know exactly what you're saying. I know where you're trying to go with it, and I think that it is a leap. Do you know any teachers who agree with that stance?
Oh, I don't know. No, I haven't really talked with that many people. I don't talk with a lot of people. I really just work. I just kind of keep my head down and work. That's all I do.
Donald Trump is a showman,
Yeah.
but at least he admits it.
Right.
The rest of them are showmen, and they don't admit it.
But should a showman be who's saying some things that people do want to hear? Is that enough to run a country?
He's not. Obviously, none of them are perfect. Most of the people running are idiots.
But you do kind of like him, and you,
I
honestly,
do. I love him as a person. I think.
and you'd feel comfortable
showing.
with
I
him?
voted for him.
You'd feel
in the last
comfortable
election, in the primary.
in the primary, yeah. So you would vote. You think you'd feel comfortable with him as the president?
I'd be fine with that, sure.
Okay, yeah.
Because he's not. Listen, Ronald Reagan was an actor who read off cue cards. He's going to have to, and you can't get away. People call him Hitler is the most retarded thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't.
No one's going to be Hitler.
I don't say that. I think
but that's another jump people are making. And he, by the way, I don't know why he's not suing everybody. He never said all Mexicans are rapists. That's not what he said. He said something very
I know.
true.
I
That
know.
rapists come across that border.
I've heard the line before. I hear you.
And people are, people on CNN or these pundits are going. He called every Mexican a rapist. That's complete and utter bullshit. He didn't. And, the wall thing, a lot of these clients, Hillary's for all these people just coming across the fucking border.
Why are they okay with that? He's just sending the illegal ones back.
Because they're getting a check, because they wanted status quo. Sanders and Trump are scaring these motherfuckers because they wanted status quo. This country gets a big check from illegal drug cartels, a big one.
Oh.
And, they want it to stay the same. They want it to stay the same because these fat cats all get rich. And Trump's pointing out that, and Sanders, look, again, that proves it's not political. I think Sanders is good too for the same reason. I like Trump because he shows human emotion. Jeb Bush was this robot going, we have to defeat ISIS.
It's ridiculous, right?
And Trump is and Hillary is just, I'm telling you, I know a lot about that situation. She's a bad human being. She's not a good person.
And it's great when Trump says also, like today, when he was like, I don't understand what Ted Cruz is doing. He's crazy. It's calling him out.
Well,
I'm
obviously
getting
Daniel's not fighting for Ted Cruz.
Can
but
I
I'm
do my
saying
impression
what he
of
was just saying
lying
that
Ted
he's
Cruz?
calling out this guy getting a running mate, and he's saying like it is. He's not being professional, which we like.
Now, Carly Fiorina's another. Go ahead. What's your impression?
This is just a little thing that interpretation of Donald Trump. Lying Ted Cruz. That's it. That's all I got.
That was like Dave's story.
That's what,
You were going to come back to me. Thanks a lot, Dan.
You forgot about the hyphen.
I'm sorry.
You forgot about the hyphen.
Wait,
good.
Artie,
Look, again, I'm not saying he's going to be like the next FDR. I'm saying that there's a lot of bad choices we got going on.
Can I
And
tell you something?
Bernie Sanders basically is a guy. You want to kill him, you just have to wait. The guy's 98 years old. And whoever his running mate is, that's going to be the president in 2 years. So he's not electable. He's too old. He looks old. Norm Macdonald looks younger as Colonel Sanders. That leaves Hillary, who basically her and her husband had a guy killed during Whitewater.
So
And I don't love Trump either. I agree with you. The lying thing, he doesn't say anything. I know, but it's just, I don't know. He'll get people in the cabinet that'll reel him in, and he just seems like a real guy. And that's what the country wants right now.
Well, you make a great point, Artie, that, drawing the line between Trump and Bernie, like I don't think anyone would ever do that. But if it's motivating people and actually making people look at the whole entire process,
Right, their one similarity is interesting.
Nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody's cared for years.
One guy's a socialist, another guy's interpreted as being, some people call him Hitler. They're different.
There's people who have were never interested in politics, and now it's kind of it's opening them up to it, which is interesting. What I was going to say, Artie, I think you find this interesting. I'm not 100% positive I'm going, but I'm working on going to the Republican National Convention and applying for press credentials so I can go photograph it.
Right.
I have a place to stay there already.
Better make sure you photograph Casey's food quick, because that's going.
Well, I mean, it's probably gonna
Get a shot of the pancakes.
Yeah, right. I'll bring them some Mile End. That's the way I can.
I gotta last long. The Maya Angelou. I gotta last.
What's the deal with that? But
this is Maya Angelou stuff.
Artie, open that bag. See what's in there.
Yeah, man, enjoy it.
Bacon.
It's smoked meat.
It's smoked meat. So it's Montreal style smoked meat. It's basically the equivalent of like Katz's delicatessen, like a pastrami sandwich.
Sounds amazing.
But this is Montreal. It's called Montreal smoked meat. There's some rye bread.
It's insane.
I brought there's some pickles in there, and then I also
that is actually very generous.
There's a few bagels, and then they have it's like a ramp cream cheese, which should probably go in the fridge.
This is your favorite? Is this your favorite restaurant in the city? Because you would know.
It's one of my buddies who I'm also a partner with in a new cocktail bar in Brooklyn, but
now the truth comes out.
Well, he owns
Grand Army.
He owns Grand Army. Little plug. My buddy who's the partner, he owns a bagel place and this Montreal smoked meat style place called Mile End. So I just went there today, and I figured,
I gotta tell you, that is very thoughtful of you. That's very thoughtful.
Enjoy it.
Art, did you have any of the
nobody? Jessica's been here. Jessica's been here 50 times. Never brought it. Yeah, not a crumb.
I ask all the time if you want me to bring anything.
I never. Dan, do you have any of that on tape?
He does ask. He does ask about Starbucks.
I know.
Huh?
Well,
fuck you about Starbucks. Fuck you about the St. Louis Blues and Starbucks. Look. I know Artie's talking. I know Artie's trying to do the show, but look at my computer. How long have we been talking for there, Fruity?
51 minutes.
Let's take a break.
You baby gorilla. Don't make me break my foot off in your ass! You baby gorilla.
That's my white mama.
All right. We're going to wrap this shindig up. So, Dave, you know what? You should describe exactly what the Godfather thing is, because it's cool as fuck.
Okay,
and I'm happy to be involved.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate it, too. I was so excited when you said you could do it.
Again, with sarcasm.
I wasn't being sarcastic, and I was trying so hard not to, for it to come off sarcastic, because I really was sincere.
I'm not being sarcastic.
It's The Godfather, but it's like a mocked up reading. Like changed a lot of the dialogue, but a lot of the good lines are there. And we just have fun with it, and we just go.
Change it for anything, particularly just comedy, just to make them funnier.
Yeah, everything's different. Like,
tell who the cast is. That Larry from Three's Company.
Larry from Three's Company is playing Solazzo, which you came up with the greatest line, and I don't care if I give it away, where you're just like, well, Godfather, if you consider $1 million and 2 drinks at the Regal Beagle just finance, salute. I mean, it's that kind of stuff. So the whole thing
it's
is
all
like
references. You could just do Three's Company references forever in The Godfather. Just attach.
I know you were like, we could be sitting here for 4 hours coming up with this.
You pretty much could.
But I don't want to disrespect him, by doing too much of that. So just that line and maybe one other.
If you want security for your 2 drinks, Mr. Furley will guarantee it.
Wait a minute, are you telling me?
You're telling me Mr. Furley and the Ropers will guarantee us?
So we get so
the Roper family. You're telling me the Roper family will guarantee our investment of 2 drinks of the Regal Beagle? Oh, that's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great. It's Tuesday at 8 o'clock.
Does that Larry idiot know to do all those lines?
I don't
What's
know.
his real name?
Richard Klein.
Oh, Richard.
Great guy. He looks exactly the same except his hair's gray. He really looks good.
I know. I've seen him around before.
We've hung out before, and he was just like, "Hey, should I call Doc from the Love Boat? You know, whatever."
Does he know Doc?
Yeah. They're like really good
I
friends.
hope you said yes at the top of the
Of course I did. I was like, "Can you bring him to the show?"
Yeah, absolutely. Doc.
What's his name?
Bernie Capel.
Bernie Capel. Right. He lives
Bernie
in
Capel's one of the
Connecticut.
funniest fucking guys. Bernie Capel in
Get Smart.
Hogan's Heroes.
Hogan's Heroes.
Holy shit.
He was in everything back then. He was the man.
And watching him in the Love Boat was like watching Joe Louis when he was forced to wrestle.
Right. It was sad because he wasn't being able to be funny.
Well, he did it for the money.
Yeah. Smart move,
and
though.
Poor Captain Stubing. What's his face? Murray.
Right.
What's that
Gavin
guy's
McLeod.
name? Gavin McLeod.
Gee, man.
That's why the Planet Hollywood stores did not work, because they had to have one in every city, and the memorabilia got too strung out. Like, you know, the Planet Hollywood in fucking Des Moines, framed above the main table was the knee-high white socks Gavin McLeod wore in the pilot for Love Boat. I used to do that joke. I forget the reference I made, but yeah, there were too many Planet Hollywood, so the memorabilia in New York and L.A. was great. You know, Elvis's jacket from the Comeback Special, but then, you know, you get to Des Moines or you get to Dubuque, and it's, you know, the white high knee socks. Ted Lange's more vest from bartending on the promenade deck.
The girl Vicky's actually working there.
Vicky, I used to jerk off to Vicky.
I did too.
Lauren Tews.
Yeah, she was a mess. That's what she was
had
fun to jerk off.
She had a blow problem.
Yeah, she had a blow problem.
I
and
love
a
that.
Sexual problem. So I used to.
It wasn't that true. Like, something about guys' sexuality. When I was 12 years old, I knew enough about coke to where if I found out Lauren Tews had a coke problem, I jerked off better to her.
Me too. No, I know exactly what you're talking
Like,
about.
I got a hard on.
I knew exactly what you're talking about. Plus, on that show, they just made her a whore.
Yeah, she was a little gutter snipe.
And do you remember that when she had that?
How many times can you fuck Barbie Benton?
The only person she actually fell in love with was Tony Roberts from Annie Hall.
Yes,
Julie, I don't understand. You didn't call.
Twins, Max.
Twins, Max. Can you imagine the multiple possibilities?
My favorite line from Annie Hall might have been, "Are we driving through plutonium, Max?"
Keeps out the alpha rays.
As a kid, you should be doing Shakespeare in the Park.
I did Shakespeare in the Park, Max. 2 thugs stole my leotards.
That's
I
what
was doing Richard III.
That's Woody Allen's N-word, by the way. Thugs, right there. You know what he was trying to say.
2 niggas stole my truck.
2 fucking niggas stole my truck. Can you believe this?
Remember, I was saying that maybe we would do Goodfellas after we do The Godfather.
Nice.
You gotta get Golub to do that
I
line.
said I can get the actual guy who said the line. 2 niggas stole my truck.
And let me tell you something. If you can't get Golub, I want that line. Me or DePaulo. Because I will nail that line. It'll be like Reggie's 3rd fucking home run. I will drop the bat and look at it. Lang admires his work. 2 niggas stole his truck. Howard Cosell and Bob Golub steps up to the plate. He never gets a line in any movie. He's a pinch hitter. Scorsese brings him in. The line is, two people stole my truck. They didn't know what Golub had in his back pocket. 2 people stole my truck. Scorsese yells, "Action! Can you believe this? 2 niggas just stole my truck. That's it, bye! Going, gone!
That's better than what I had. Right?
Golub improvises. 2 niggas stole my truck. Out of nowhere. The line in the script was 2 people stole my truck. Out of nowhere, 2 niggas stole my truck. And he'll watch it. He's telling the world that he's the MVP of this movie.
Scorsese's like, where'd you come up with that? I don't know. It just came to me.
No, Golub said that, right? He said it just came to me. Scorsese, well, use it. They would say that. He goes, yeah, right, Bob? I told Marty. This guy would say, nigga, right? Yeah, say it. First of all, Scorsese is like Quentin Tarantino, is obsessed with the N-word.
Yes.
He's obsessed with it.
Taxi Driver.
And Taxi Driver, his character, there's no reason his character has to say
reason.
that. His character, for no reason, says, you know who's in that apartment? That's my wife. She's fucking, you know what she's fucking? She's fucking a nigger. And even De Niro's character, is Travis Bickle's offended. He's like, what? Jesus, that wasn't necessary.
I never understood the reason.
Travis Bickle's like shocked. And the guy's gonna shave his head and fuck a 12-year-old.
Yeah, he's like De Niro at the time. He's like, well, I don't understand why you have to put yourself in this. Why is this necessary?
You know, Scorsese probably jerked off every time he says the N-word. Or it's clear what happens is a chick Scorsese loved probably fucked a black guy, right?
You know it. And
what
obviously Quentin Tarantino as well.
No, Quentin Tarantino, what is with him? Every movie, I can't believe Hollywood doesn't call him out on that more.
I know.
Like, okay, you did a Gone with the Wind remake. Okay. Even the old one, as racist as it was, avoided that word.
But what about in Pulp Fiction? Does it just justify it because he has a black wife? He's allowed to just yell at somebody and say, "Does
First of
that
all,
say dead nigger storage?"
They make his wife jet black.
Yeah.
A jet black nurse. She's not even sexy. And she's got that white nurse outfit, which is on her body. Like, it just shows on her like that white up against that black skin. It's like every jerk-off fantasy he probably has. And yeah, out of nowhere, I remember watching that movie, and out of nowhere, this nerdy guy goes, "Does it say dead nigger storage?"
With two thugs.
Fuck yeah.
Two assassins.
I'm an Italian.
He's screaming
I'm
at
a
them.
fucking guinea from Jersey. I was a longshoreman. I'm not educated like the Trump people like. And I'm the guy Trump likes. And I was offended by it. I said, me and my buddy Anthony were like, that was not necessary.
I know.
Dead nigger storage.
It goes from that and then coffee.
And then you find out, exactly,
it's like
Harvey Keitel's character.
Yeah, that's right. He goes like,
He's
you,
like,
you,
"What?"
you okay, Mr. Wolf?" After he's
Pretty
screaming at those guys, he's
Pretty
like,
please,
pretty
with
please,
sugar on top. Clean the fucking car.
If I'm curt with you, it's because time is of the essence.
He likes the coffee. He goes, good coffee.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. I like to wait, like give them that look that he gives when the coffee's really
Well, that's what
good.
the scene's about.
Don't people
It's about human behavior.
don't people hate when those guys are trying to act in their own movie? Don't people make fun of that a lot?
When
and
the directors-
when the directors try to
yeah, a lot of times they do. You're right. Scorsese though is kind of self-aware that he's not good, so he's not in the movies a lot. But The Last Waltz is a documentary, but I think he's great in that because he's trying to pull shit out of Robbie Robertson. It's so funny. Like, no, say that again. Say that. What should I say again? Well, mention the name of the band because we. But Tarantino, forget it. Tarantino gives himself in Reservoir Dogs. He's all over the fucking thing. Yeah, Coppola never.
But do you think he does? Do these guys do a good job acting? I mean, your buddies.
Scorsese doesn't.
Your buddies with Kevin Smith, right? Do you think he does?
No, I'm not. What was that on Entertainment Tonight?
But it's funny when Scorsese.
I actually don't like that guy.
When Scorsese's in a movie that he doesn't do, like Quiz Show or something that Redford is doing, and he has a part. He's not horrible.
He's also got a small part in The Muse with Albert Brooks.
Oh my God, the Sharon Stone one.
When he plays himself, it's not bad.
Do you guys love Albert Brooks?
Oh God,
Is he like a god in the comedy community, or
again,
very well respected?
The last 10 years has done a lot of damage, much like Steve fucking Martin. Steve Martin's done more to hurt comedy now at this point.
Oh, you're right.
But Albert Brooks, those early movies. Real Life, the movie Real Life, his first movie.
Really funny stuff.
I like Defending Your Life.
Defending Your Life, man.
That's my
So
favorite.
like,
Yeah,
I always think about Defending Your Life. I'm like, could this be?
Yeah, that's the thing.
the afterlife. Is that what the
Outstanding
afterlife
But
is
don't
like?
you think Defending Your Life's kind of a hacky premise?
It is.
It's
It is.
very hack.
But that's
But
what
it's
I'd like
fun.
to
I
think
mean,
it
he's
is.
fun.
Like that.
Yeah, but Real Life was ahead of its time. Real Life predicted what television became.
That's an excellent point.
Real Life was the comedy version, and Network was the dramatic version in the same year, 1976.
Wow.
Patty Chayefsky predicted it with the drama, and fucking Albert Brooks and Harry Shearer predicted it with fucking with comedy. That's
Wow.
what television became. As absurd as all that shit is, it's nothing compared to what television is now. Like the guys with the cameras, the cameras on their head. 4 of those are in existence. 3 worked. We have 2 of those.
The Ettenauer 10.
The Ettenauer 10. I don't get it. Well, when I first went out to do Mad TV, I was shooting it on this lot, Renmar, and he was shooting the movie Mother. And it was on the same
I saw
lot,
that, yeah.
right next to, kind of disappointing. But when he's in a movie and he does a movie, it's always good for a few laughs. But he's shooting that film right next to where we're doing Mad TV, like literally the sound stage over. And me and David Herman from Mad TV were such fans. We're like, God, I want to say something to him. But everything we overheard was him talking like the first AD, going like, I don't understand. Why can't you do that? It's just lighting. You can't light the scene. I thought you're good at this. Honestly, or if we've done 30 films, you can't light this. It's a kitchen.
That's a good imitation.
So are you saying he wasn't nice then? Was he not? He wasn't being cool.
He's being very condescending. He goes. It's a kitchen. I don't understand.
Did you see
That's the scene. That's the story about John McKinley. Remember, I told you about the John McKinley. The actor said to me, I told you that story, right?
I don't remember.
Okay, he's doing Mother, and he's got a honey wagon, not a trailer. Albert Brooks comes in and goes, "Listen, I understand that you're very good at improvising." Like just off the top of your head, like you went to Second City or the Groundlings or something like that. You could just make up a scene on the spot. And you tell any actor that, McKinley's like, yeah, actually, I can do that. I'm very good at it. You're good at improvisation. That's what I'm told. I saw your audition, very good, but yeah, you're good at improv. Yeah, I'm actually great at it. Why? Well, on this, I'd like you to stick to the text. McKinley said my face just dropped. Yeah, do us a favor. Just don't change a goddamn word.
Did you see that
I'd
one?
like you to stick to the text.
The comedy in the Muslim world one.
That's so disappointing.
It is disappointing. but I
Every
remember-
hacky joke about fucking the Muslims and Jews. It's every hacky joke there
know.
is.
Attell
Like
had
you
a-
can't believe it's the same guy who did
Yeah.
Real Life and Lost in America, Modern Romance. Those movies are so
those are
fucking
great.
funny.
Someone that when he's working that puppet, it still makes me laugh.
Rip Torn and Defending Your Life is so
Oh,
fucking funny.
I think that's where, because Shandling and him are friends. I think that's
Where
where,
they
he
got
got the idea to
yeah.
get Rip Torn to be Artie.
Oh God, Rip Torn is so fucking funny.
Amazing.
Yeah, he.
Do you ever think he would outlive Shandling?
No. I told you, me and Rip Torn we were the presenters, the last two presenters at the college Oscars, the student film awards this was like 7 years ago, at Radio City. Wow. So we're backstage at Radio City. He gave out Best Picture, and I gave out Best Director. Right before, we were going out, we're backstage together. And Rip Torn comes in. He's looking around. I guess he's looking for booze. He comes, I go, Mr. Torn, listen, man, I got to tell you, I'm a huge fan. He goes, where's the poison? Wow. I go, oh, there might be something back there. I go, yeah, whatever. Like, get out of my face. Goes, where's the poison? And I goofed on my category, but the kids were excited. I guess they were Stern fans. I don't know why they invited me there, but they were cool. And then Rip Torn went out and gave them nothing. Like, okay, best film is I don't know, what is this? Dancing with Rembrandt. Dancing. Apparently, this kid plays a retard. Yeah, and the kids went to hug him and just said, "Here's your award." Where's the poison? Yeah, what Bob Odenkirk in that scene in the Larry Sanders Show where he's that great line where he goes, hey, he's on the speakerphone on Melrose. Hey, El Nino is blowing the skirts El Northo. I can't hear you, Larry. I'm going through the canyon. And he says to Rip Torn, what canyon goes off Melrose? Bullshit canyon. Bullshit. Corbin Burnson he finds out his wife's fucking Corbin Burnson. And Artie, I can't do my job. Why? You've been fucking up the monologue every night. I can't stop thinking of her fucking Corbin Burnson. It wakes me up at night. I'm having nightmares. And the worst part is, in every nightmare, she's on top. That lazy bastard. Yeah. Where's the poison?
That is amazing that you can access that.
That
and
show
just
kicks
do
ass.
those lines, man. That's incredible.
Well, again, the knowledge you have with what you do, clearly, again, that intellectual. I don't have it. I literally, that's my education. That's what.
Yeah, we memorize movie lines.
Well, who knew that I got the one job where that actually meant something? They said, where are you going to use this? I got the one gig where I would make $900,000 a year. He goes, we'll say those lines. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, wow.
I could have said to my mother back then, I'm doing research.
It's amazing.
Well, I'm sorry. So tell your about. So it's just a comedy version of Godfather.
Yeah,
and we could riff on it.
Yeah, and we're just going.
Mike Bichetti is
Luca Brasi
that's
and
unbelievable.
Fredo,
That's
obviously.
unbelievable.
Genius.
Russ Maneve is Sonny.
Right.
Dan Natterman is Michael.
I tell you, here's the thing. Where are the guys supposed to be protecting my father?
I play Brando. This episode only goes from the
Listen how he skates over that. Well, I play Brando.
I'm just saying. This episode goes. We do it in
you
increments.
made yourself Brando?
Well, I thought I would do it best.
You pretentious
because
whore.
Yeah, but it was
Can we
easy because
hear-
I knew
can we
how.
hear a line?
Yeah, let's hear a little bit.
Let's hear a line as Brown.
Bit of a Tarantino move.
I knew how the flow was going to go. It doesn't matter what another man does for a living.
That's pretty good.
It's all right.
That's like a female basketball version of it. No, okay, so no, but it's going to be
but
hilarious.
last time I did Waltz, which I did very good at.
Jack Waltz,
Yeah.
my Kraut McFriend.
Now you listen to me, my Krotmick friend. I'm going to make so much trouble for you, your head will spin. I don't know you.
How about do you any character that whispers that you know?
No.
Jesus Christ! It's like you got Godfather Tourette's.
I do. Miles Davis comes in at one point.
That's great. I tell you,
Prince is going to be
I'm Michael. I always thought it would be Governor Corleone. Senator Corleone.
Here's the funny papers.
Anybody got the junk? Anybody got some junk? You never come to Las Vegas and talk to... Yeah, anybody got some junk?
Where's the poison at?
Yeah, where's the poison? Now, Miles is here. Where's the poison? Very different poisons. Yeah, where's the poison? Hey, has anybody seen, speaking of that, with the movie out about Miles Davis where Don Cheadle plays Miles Davis? Anybody see that?
No.
I saw him do like an interview for it.
Did he do like the impression?
Man, listen, I am not one to comment on Don Cheadle because I think he's very talented.
Unbelievable.
But the clip that I saw, I wasn't really into it, and I felt he was just.
Well, critics agree with you because I saw bad reviews on it, but again,
but I'm
him and Miles Davis,
fascinated.
right? I would go anyway.
It's just, two fascinating people. So yeah,
I got the document. There's a great documentary I have on iTunes. I just watched it again today. I watched it about Miles Davis that I guarantee is way better, but the documentaries are always better. But Don Cheadle. Playing Miles Davis, I gotta go see that, I guess. But I didn't even go. It didn't even go to theaters. I think.
Have you seen I believe it's called Documentary Now. It's a new parody.
I heard about it,
dude. Listen, my lady showed it to me. It's Bill Hader and
anything. Bill Hader's so funny.
Bill Hader and what's his name, Fred Armisen.
Two funny guys.
If you're a little geeky into documentaries, which I am, I was always like,
I devour them.
So like, if you did you watch the Thin Blue Line, Errol Morris's film? Do you remember it?
About the police department?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it was about a shooting. It was about a murder that happened, and
I saw it a long time ago.
It's a long time ago, right? But if you kind of remember it, and it's shot in a very specific way.
I saw it and I don't remember a ton.
So you don't even need to. But the point is that Hader and Fred Armisen again, I thought it was fucking brilliant.
Oh God, I would see that in a heartbeat based on them being in it.
They're recreating it and they're just mocking the fuck out of it, and it's so funny. And I've watched 2 or 3 episodes. I think it's fucking brilliant.
Let me ask you this. Oh wait a minute. It's episodic. There's
episodic.
It's a series.
Yeah, it's a series.
It's a series goofing on a documentary.
Goofing on major documentaries that you've seen before.
Oh wait a minute.
So
each
you're
episode.
Like, I know that documentary.
Wait, each episode is a documentary,
and it's a mockumentary of an actual documentary.
So one is a Thin Blue Line.
One is the Thin Blue Line.
What other ones?
Grey Gardens.
What other ones? They
did Grey Gardens, and they were both the fucking old ladies.
That's really funny.
That must be
dude. It's funny shit. It's pretty funny stuff.
What channel is that on? How'd that go on the radar?
So we've been doing. Well, you have the Apple TV. I see. It's. I believe it's either a Netflix original or it could be an Amazon Prime original.
Yeah. Did you ever hear that?
Or an HBO. It might be a new HBO one. It's one of these fucking things that you have to pay
It's
for.
fantastic.
So it might not be HBO, but then it's either Netflix or.
I'm gonna watch that tonight. That sounds great. Yeah, but I usually don't like mockumentaries unless they're done like perfect, like Spinal Tap. I like a real documentary. But what you just said sounds so fucking.
Well, and
funny.
I mean, it's the guys that are doing it right now. I feel like again, this is your field, but like Armisen is pretty funny right now, and Bill Hader seems to be having a moment where he's fucking killing it.
Bill Hader's been funny. Yeah, I love Bill Hader.
He's funny.
Bill Hader doesn't seem to do enough. Like he does not around as much.
Well,
as
he's a guy. You know what the problem is? That's why Amy giving him the lead, and that was kind of special. He doesn't get offered a lot of roles that he likes. I heard, like that.
Bill Hader.
Yeah, I think that's why you don't see him as much. I think he wants more of that leading man. I think he pulled that off, the leading man thing. But he's funny in everything.
Yeah,
he was one of those guys on that show. Everything was most of it was a home run. All right, well, listen, guys. Dave has to leave the room, unfortunately, and I know he's mad about that.
We're gonna leave that.
I have to fucking leave it. Do I have to leave the room?
All right.
I'm sorry. So when's the God? When are we doing this?
Tuesday, 8 o'clock.
I may or may not show up.
Get tickets.
Do you have? Is there an
amazing.
understudy?
Jeff Ross opening the show.
Is there an understudy for me?
Well, probably Jeff Ross, I guess.
Tickets still available?
Jeff Ross. No, it's probably. How many Village Underground? There's still tickets.
I think
seats 30 people. You're not doing well.
We're about 3/4 full. 30 people. I think we're about 3/4
With my bringers, it's going to be.
Boschetti has a 10 people guest list.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah, just for his head. What do you want, Dan? You want to say something? You were interrupting. What do you want?
You know what? I forgot the best thing that Dave said at the beginning before we started the podcast.
Dave who?
And well,
Jusko.
Oh, you're talking about him?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
He said,
we're out of time.
Please be.
He said, when do you think we're going to do the podcast? I said, oh, probably about 45 minutes from now. He goes, yeah, but I drink the coffee now. I'm up now.
Yeah, I know. It's like
He goes,
I
an
was
hour
ready
from
to
now,
go.
I can't guarantee you I'm going to put on a good show.
Well, I felt
So I
bad
wonder why
'cause
Dave doesn't work more.
I was I was talking to you
and
so
I thought
fast,
you were
I was-
joking, but you were serious.
No,
and that's why
I-
you kept on going in the refrigerator.
Dave, I understand you're very good at improv. I understand that when you drink after you drink a cup of coffee, you're just hilarious. Dave, I understand that when you have a cup of coffee, it's just unbelievable. It's like a young Robin Williams. I understand free association is like stream of consciousness. You're good at that, right?
wasn't good at it.
On this, I'd like you to not do that. On this, I'd like you to do the direct opposite. All right, Daniel. To mention your restaurant again, buddy. Thanks for coming by, Daniel Krieger.
I'm a partner in this place called Grand Army Brooklyn, but you can follow along. I'm a food photographer at Daniel Krieger on Instagram. That's kind of
Absolutely.
the best way to check me out.
That
But
is,
thank you again, guys, for having me on.
Anytime.
This was so cool.
Any
And-
friend Anthony's a friend of mine, and it's an interesting job. And matter of fact, I want to hear more. And thanks for the food. Again, nobody does that.
Enjoy it.
Mile
enjoy
in,
it.
let's eat some.
Nobody. Anthony Bozo, the great Anthony
great
Bozo.
Bozo.
We
for
had
having
one
me.
book writing session. We're gonna have another if it's okay with Just Cow. And I busted Dave's balls. He's one of my best friends in comedy. I love the guy. I've loved him ever since he gave me a one-hitter of cocaine at my manager's party in 1996 and led to all my troubles. But I said, they make one-hitters a blow? Yeah, you want one? And then the next thing I know, I was in jail.
Sorry.
I was speeding the wrong way with you and John Benjamin down 7th Avenue.
Best story ever.
That really is.
Wait, you did?
John Benjamin retells that story. He goes, Artie had a bullet of cocaine. I had it out the window in reverse, speeding down 7th Avenue.
And I was
He's
me and
like-
my girlfriend were laughing like idiots in the background. We were so
You
hammered.
and Jen Dollard.
Jen Dollard, yeah.
She was a doll.
laughing so hard because we were just
How's she
but
doing?
John
You hear-
Benjamin doesn't drink.
You hear, I
really?
know.
Yeah,
you
she's
hear
not-
from her?
Yeah, she's not doing that well. She got a lot of diseases and stuff.
I'm gonna pray. I got to air that now. Are you kidding me?
She
Is that
still
true?
looks good. Yeah, she's just in a lot of pain.
She's just a typical guy. She looks good. That's all that matters.
yeah.
She's in a lot of pain now. I feel terrible. I love Jen Dollard. Was one of my best friends.
No, she's still cool.
She owes me $20 for that blood. Is that true? Now I gotta.
Yes.
Now I gotta. Oh, okay. Is she still married to
Yes,
Biederman?
Biederman, yeah.
They got kids too, right?
Yeah.
That's right. You and Jen Dollard were in the back seat.
Yep.
She had nice cans, by the way.
Yes.
And
We call them Jen's Dollards.
you did.
Yes, I did.
And John Benjamin, who's now the voice of Archer.
Who doesn't drink.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
And
not that night.
But John was a great guy who didn't wash properly. He really stunk.
He was the son of Dr. Katz
Yeah,
on that
that's
show,
right.
right?
So funny.
Yeah, that
Him
was
and,
his-
and Sarah
his voice
Silverman's
is amazing.
sister Laura was
Right.
the receptionist in it. Their banter back and forth. And Jonathan Katz.
They used to go out.
They were so funny.
Were you buddies with Jonathan Katz?
I never met Jonathan Katz till the last Montreal Comedy Festival last summer. Never met him until then.
I was.
Well, no, check that. I met him at the old Boston Comedy Club in New York a couple of times, and he was the coolest guy ever. And now he's got MS, you know.
He's good. He's a mess.
And it's again, what are we, doom and gloom over here. He's a mess too.
It's
And he doesn't
just-
look
it's
good.
just
He doesn't
sad.
look, and he has Jen's Dollards. We used to call him Jonathan's Cats.
He's such a funny guy. He's still, his mind is perfect. He just can't move
Don't
around.
try to fucking save yourself now.
I'm not.
All right. I mean, that's the most offensive thing, anti-woman thing I ever heard. Jen's Dollards. How dare you? Where did I show this to Black Folks Matter? White tits matter. That's my question. Dan, do you want to say anything? Do you want to come out or no? I give him every opportunity. That's fine. He has a very domineering mother. What mention what we did today, Dan? We blasted out to Reddit and everything. The show, right? We're gonna we're trying to get more people to sign up.
We did a free podcast. Two of the best things that we've done in the last couple of weeks. One of them was
It's already completely a lie. Once like 8 months ago. It's not a podcast. It's a tape of a podcast. Everything you said is wrong.
Artie talked about Prince and then the difference. The very first one,
Oh, I
the
remember
difference
that.
with Ashton Kutcher. So we sent that out.
Piece that together if you don't listen to the show. Figure out what he just said.
And
Yeah, I was there for that one.
That's
Yeah,
great.
That
though.
was funny. Asking Christian.
And so Anthony, for the other 99.9% of the world that wasn't there for that one, will just have to figure it out.
well, if they're listening to the podcast, they've already heard it.
We're trying to get people who don't listen, Dan.
Right, but they wouldn't hear the show if they don't listen.
We're blasting out a. They're going to replay that for their friends. We're hoping on Reddit.
Right, that's what I said. Well, that's what I said. We
First
sent out
of all,
a free-
somebody has to describe what Reddit is to me, then we'll get going.
Where can people find that? Because I know a lot of people that don't even know that.
Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We did it already.
All the places we didn't advertise the contest on. After the contest came out, I said to Dan, "How come we haven't more people haven't signed up?" I don't know. And I called the tech guy. I found that we didn't advertise on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
When do you
Which
know-
nowadays means that we might as well have yelled it out the window.
Hey Artie, when do you notice that a lot of people start signing up? Like what things do you
I'll
do
let you know when that happens.
Yeah.
I'll give you a date. Nah, the biggest thing was, besides the launch day, which a few thousand people and $7 a month, do the math, we're rolling it. No, that was a good day. But the only other time there was a big spike was the first time me and Howard had a feud. Howard said something about me. I said something about him. It went nuts on Reddit, and we tripled our subscribers.
Wow. And
then a few people it balanced off, and then now it's that. But that made this, ironically enough, the Howard Cup made this a living for me. Like I actually make money doing it because of that. But if I make enough money, I'll cancel everything out. No more stand up. No more fucking HBO
So you're-
Apatow auditions. No more fucking Tuesday nights with the Godfather.
You're liking the podcast thing right now?
This is my favorite thing I've ever done in my life.
Oh wow, that's
in
amazing.
my life, I've never done something that's this much fun for me.
Are you paying attention to other podcasts that are non-comedy and seeing what people are up to?
I don't listen to anything.
That's fine.
Dan's the one. I know I would, but Dan's the one supposed to tell me about it.
Well, you're busy. Well, yeah.
Actually, I have nothing but time.
But you're loving it. That's cool. My lady is so into them right now. She's like, she listens to them all day long.
Yeah, about food especially.
She talks to them. No, she doesn't listen to that many food ones, but she talks to the podcast like they're actually in the room with her. She gets so into them that you feel
When you say my lady, you mean your girlfriend, not Ann Bancroft.
my fiance Jordana. Yeah.
There was a great bar. Remember Milady's down on Prince Street? Remember that?
Loved it.
That closed. I did a photo shoot there right before it closed. Actually,
was one of my regulars.
That's a
one of the
place.
last night.
That's a place where you can be shooting pool, and someone runs it. Like you bang into somebody shooting pool, and you apologize, and it's like it's Dickie Betts.
Yeah, exactly. I
From
love
the Allman
that
Brothers.
that was in the middle of Soho.
And why did Milady's close? I used to go there all the time.
Me too.
Do you want to know why it closed? Well,
Is it really money? I guess, or what happened?
The majority of places.
AIDS virus in the bathroom.
No, this is actually a subject I know a little bit about. It's just a lot of it is really rent, and it's just someone else takes over
Just
the
money,
space.
yeah,
and-
right,
and
exactly.
So someone buys that building, and they look at Milady's, and they're like, I want to have a kind of a hot new hip restaurant. I don't want to have this dive bar in my building anymore.
Like Maya Angelou's.
Or maybe, but what happens is Milady's might have had a 20-year lease or a 15-year lease, and it
How
might
terrible.
it just once
And
it
that's
comes
where
up-
I hate Donald Trump, because he does bullshit like that.
Well,
but
it's
nobody's
just-
perfect.
it's
But
just-
Milady's
yeah.
was fantastic.
It was a cool place. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna guys. Thanks. That was a great podcast as always.
Thank
I
you.
love you all.
Thank
Daniel,
you.
thanks for coming. Thanks for the food.
Let's eat.
Falato, I know you love you. You know I love you. Dan, are you gonna come to the Godfather?
Oh,
thing?
absolutely.
Well, Dan knows the Godfather, so we're gonna make that hilarious, dude. Don't stress, because the last time you killed, right, and it's gonna kill again.
Yeah,
All right. Just you owe me. By the way, on your way back, bring back a quarter pounder with cheese. You owe me. Take care.